Hi, my name is Caroline and I'm here at the Virginia Museum of History and Culture. I'm going to investigate artifacts about immigrants' life stories when they came over to Virginia. Here at the museum, they hold over 9 million artifacts, and I'm here to look at a few of them. I'm here to meet James Brooks, the library director.
Well, I can already think of a few items that we can show you today. So why don't we get you set up and then we'll go and look for those things together.
That's perfect.
Perfect. So the first thing I wanted to show you is in here we have letters that were sent to and from a Civil War soldier. He was a German called Heinrich Hohn. He enlisted in the Union Army to fight. What's special about this is you can see these really striking illustrations. There's the bold American flag and it says for the Union. There's this depiction of a woman who's meant to be Columbia, like a female depiction of the United States. And so letters like this really show us how immigrants were not only participating in the Civil War, but also how they could make very clear the fact that they felt like they were patriotic and loyal to their new country.
Why is a letter like this a valuable primary source?
What's so special about many of the letters that we have in our collection is that they allow us to see how ordinary people like you and me have navigated really extraordinary circumstances throughout Virginia's and the United States' history. Okay, so this next piece I want to show you, this is the pocket constitution that was carried by a man called Khizr Khan. And he was born in Pakistan and moved here with his wife. He had children in the United States. One of his sons, Humayun, actually served in the Iraq War and was killed there in 2004. What's really special about this is Khizr underlined certain lines which were important to him and copied down quotes that resonated with him. And just like the letters we were looking at before, when you see things that we know that people from history have handled, have read over and over, it lends even more significance to them.
I've also brought some objects from home and from my family today to show you. So this is the book I brought today of Asian Americans in Fairfax County. My family also comes from Fairfax County in Northern Virginia, and it's really cool to see all those perspectives and stories about people who immigrated to Fairfax and things they went through and facts about them overall.
And I think it's so important that you've brought this in today because I know that we don't actually have a copy of this book in our library, but because you've made us aware of it today, we're going to purchase a copy and we're going to add it to our collection. We do have gaps in our collection and we're always looking to grow and fill those so that we can be more representative of everyone who comes to Virginia and everyone who calls Virginia their home.
After talking with James about artifacts that might have been stored away, I was wondering how artifacts might be shifted into being showcased in a gallery. I met up with Rachel and she shared the meanings and stories behind the Gallery of Northern Virginia. Out of the 9 million artifacts in this museum, how do you choose which ones to display?
That's a really tough job. That would be the job of the curators who pull together and to kind of interpret whatever story they're trying to show. And so for instance, this particular case was meant to show the diversity of Northern Virginia. This poster right here, this is from the 1980s. It's a poster for a movie theater. And this particular movie theater in Arlington played movies from Taiwan, from Hong Kong, from China. And so they were advertising it to the people that lived in their area.
So when you display this piece, how do you give context behind the story?
One of the jobs of the museum educators is to bring the pieces in the museum to life and make them relatable. I think when people are thinking about primary sources, the first thing that comes to mind is maybe a document, but a primary source can be a lot of different things. It can be a movie poster, it can be a t-shirt.
I definitely think an object can show more story or perspective behind just the paper because that's something that they might have wore, they might have used, and that can show more culture, more significance than just a document. After looking at the artifacts of immigration, I can take away more perspective in how and why my family might have immigrated over to the US. The collections will always grow along with the people that visit here and share their story and culture. Goodbye, and I'll see you next time.